Hey all, thought I'd share with you my latest little pet project for my plants. So I repurposed my huge 77-gallon tank that I've had forever, and I figure it's too old to use as a tank now in case it leaks, so I turn it into a terrarium. So in here I've got my humidity loving plants. It gets to about 80-90% depending how much air I let in here, but I've got the circulation fan going so they're okay. I've got my Alocasia Frydek or Mitsokiliana, I think you pronounce it. Hope I'm not wrong. I've got my Astatum, which is Silver Sword, Philodendron, right? Hartley Fern back there. My poor Anthurium that was starting to crisp. Yeah, we're having a battle, this plant and me. But it's got a new leaf, so maybe I'm winning. I've got, what is that? I also have, I'm trying to remember the name, guys. My mind just went blank. Totally blank. What is that? Zebra Califia. I know I cannot recall the Latin name, but most people call it the Zebra Califia, which as you can see has brown edges because I had it outside just in my room, and it was not a happy camper anymore now that we're no longer in summer weather. And I decided, you know what, I've got to pop it in here. And as soon as I did that, it stopped browning on the edges. So unfortunately, the parts that are already brown will not go green. But isn't that just the most gorgeous plant? I just love that plant, right? But yeah, so that top leaf right there was the one that was going brown, as you can see. But when I put it in, it stopped doing it. But of course, they'll stay brown until I get a new leaf. So I'm hoping that the new leaf will not have any brown edges, which is, the ideal outcome I'd like. I guess I should stop and take a, if we can sneak in there. Take a take a look at my poor heartleaf fern, which it's all my fault. I admit it. I've totally neglected this plant on occasion. And it does not like to dry out. When I tell you dry, I mean this thing went bone dry like 3 times. And then finally the leaves look like that. Oh, I'm so bummed because it was looking amazing. Like it was just lush. You can see the new leaves right there down the middle right here. They're looking really good. So I am, thinking that whatever leaves it gets next, which you can see them popping up from the soil. Thank God. I thought this plant was dead. But I literally soaked it, guys, in a bowl of water for a while. And I figured it's a fern. There's got to be something on the ground that's alive. And I was right. So happy about that because I've had it for a while and I'm really, really fond of it because I think it's one of the most, beautiful, interesting looking ferns. You wouldn't think it was a fern just by looking at it. Pretty cool. And here we are. Yeah. Me and this Aetherium Clarinervium, I don't know, it started giving me problems in the summer. I think it got too hot or something. But yeah, this new leaf was almost perfect. And then it crisped on the edge when the humidity dropped. I could cry. But, so today is the first time I've actually put it in here because it used to be in my room near a humidifier and I don't think that was enough. It was in my bedroom under lights near a humidifier and I don't think it liked that either, I think. So I've popped it in here and you can see the new leaf right up here popping out. So I'm praying that this new leaf will be gorgeous, okay? Permanently. And I figure, it gets like, I think I said, I'm not sure I said it, but it gets to as high as 80% or higher humidity in here. Okay, because it's pretty much a closed system. I don't want to show you my little rigged up thing I did. It's not done yet, but it's covering is temporary. I literally bought a clear plastic tablecloth from the dollar store, okay, and chopped off a piece and put it over the tank because obviously the lid, which is here, the old lid, which I'll be likely getting rid of or donating or something, is not gonna work, okay, because I needed to have something to really hold the humidity in, plus house my, don't laugh guys, grow lights. Hey, you gotta be creative in plant keeping, guys. You gotta be creative and work with your budget. I did not want to buy some, you know, $100 or $200 light or something that will fit, because this tank is enormous. I mean, the scale, it's 48 inches long. Okay, so I figure, you know what, so far this is working. I cut 2 pieces of lumber myself. I bought a 6-footer and cut it down, and I clipped on 2 regular clip-on reading lamps, you know, and I put a full spectrum grow bulb in there. I got this grow bulb from the Canadian Tire, and I also got the lamps from there in case anyone's wondering, if you're local. And yeah, it's working beautifully. So my intention is to eventually replace this plastic. I'm in no rush because it's working, hey, you know, with polyurethane sheeting or the greenhouse material. Okay, so, but it's working. So, and I've got my fan, like I think I showed you the fan. It's my favorite circulation type fan for my terrariums or greenhouse. Works beautifully. As you can see, it produces a pretty good breeze. This is a slow speed one. I recently learned that there is slow speed and high speed ones. I actually accidentally bought a high speed one, and it was literally like a hurricane in there. I had to return that the next day to Amazon, and it was exchanged for this one. So this is the right speed. Lower speed is perfect because, as you can see, I hope my hand's not shaking, but you can see the plants are moving. So they're getting a good little breeze, and they seem to be doing well. And as you can see back there, my Alocasia Frydek is sending out a new leaf. Since I put it in here, it started forming that leaf, so it's happy. It outgrew the cabinet it was in, my IKEA greenhouse cabinet. It was in the, I'm forgetting the name of the cabinet, but anyway, the tall, skinny one. It was in there, and this thing was like cramped in there. I don't know how long you'll be able to live in this aquarium because this thing is just getting ridiculously large. Guys, can you see the stem on that thing? Look at it. It has a baby for quite a while that I just left on there, but I might separate it sooner or later. But yeah, this plant, I don't know if you can get the scale, guys. There's my hand, and of course it's behind, so it's actually about a foot thereabouts. And this leaf right here is actually bigger, but the fan's in the way. Yeah, it's about a foot long. It's one of my favorite plants, and I baby it. It's happy. Okay, it only gets distilled water. Life is so good for it. Oh, I forgot to show you guys down here. Sorry for the reflection. Crocodile Fern. Love it. That's a fern. I'm still trying to figure out what it really needs and loves from me. But so far, it's doing well in here, so we'll see how it goes. We will see. I find it's a very, very slow growing fern. Very slow, painfully slow, guys. But I love the pattern on the leaves. You can see why it's called a crocodile. Right? Pretty cool. Who else? Oh, well, my silver sword. Baby silver sword is growing leaps and bounds, and hopefully it will start looking like a sword shape with the leaves soon. But it's doing very well. I've got to give it a proper pole soon. I keep saying that, but I never do it. It's just like a little bamboo stick that I cut, and it's got something to lean on. So hopefully, yeah, I'll get to it soon. Next, who else? I think I mentioned him already, right? My zebra Califia, which is a pain in the butt, but I just love it so much. The leaves are velvety, and they have a beautiful sheen to them. I don't know if you could see it in the video. And I just love that pattern. So gorgeous. This plant demands humidity. Demands. If you don't give it, yeah, it looks like that. So hopefully you'll be happy in here now. Down here, I've got my staghorn. Oh, you can see my feet. I've got my staghorn fern, which I will mount. I keep saying I will. Look at this poor thing. It actually made a shield that you can see right in the middle there. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that, but right there's a shield. It actually made a shield in the pot, so I think it really would like to be mounted soon, and I will do that. I actually have the wood. I just couldn't decide which piece of wood to use, but I'll do that. I've got a cup of water back there just to continuously provide moisture to the air in here, and I think it's working extremely well. And back there underneath, I've got a rabbit's foot fern, another fern I'm trying to figure out. It's really cool, kind of creeps me out with its rhizomes that look like rabbit's foot, right? I mean, look at that. Ew. But I think it's finally stopped browning on me. I think this one was demanding humidity as well. So we'll see how that goes. I will repot it soon because I think that pot is way too small. All the rabbit's foot is starting to come out and over the edge. So I think I'm going to repot it soon. Down here is my pain in the butt. Oh gosh, what's it called? Califia vitata, no, elliptica vitata. Gorgeous plant, candy cane stripe leaves. I mean, look at that. But this plant is just, oh, such a pain. But I stuck it in here, and as you can see, I repotted it as well recently. It's making a new leaf coming right out of the center right here. And of course, it previously dried up because I guess it was just not happy where it was. So I moved it in here to see what will happen. So time will tell. Back here, I've got my, what do you call that? Alocasia. Black velvet is a popular name. Can't remember the Latin name, guys, but it's a black velvet. Look at the new leaf. Look at it. Ah. For a while there, this one was also giving me some problems. I don't know. Some of these plants are so finicky and temperamental. And I find that the black velvet is actually one of the harder, in my opinion, alocasias to keep happy. It's finicky sometimes, and you don't even know why. But I recently, late summer, fall, I repotted it, and it seems to be finally getting happier now. And I moved it into this aquarium or terrarium. And it had a leaf over here that you can kind of see right there. But this new leaf isn't really looking good. It hasn't had a good enough leaf like that for a while. So I'm hoping it'll go back to making huge leaves like that one right here, which is old. And over here, I'm trying to block the reflection from my other lights. Over here, you can see I have the, oh, what do you call you? I'm thinking angel wing. Yes, that's the name. But it's a Begonia Maculara, I believe. Yeah. Guys, this plant is so pretty. Like, I didn't think I'd like it because it's kind of fussy in terms of its look. It's kind of prissy, you know. It's got like, let me look at it. It's got like polka dots like everywhere, right? Look at it. Sorry, I got to clean the glass on this thing, but look at it. And yeah, those polka dots shimmer. They are silver, okay? So it looks like somebody painted it with silver spots. So I can see why people, you know, like this plant. And but the one thing I'll say is this plant demands humidity, okay? It doesn't need extremely high humidity, but it certainly wouldn't mind if you gave it to it, right? So since I've put it in here, this thing seems to be taking off like crazy. The leaves are looking so much better. They're holding on to the moisture, so they feel much thicker. And I've noticed that the new leaves, which you can see right there, which have that beautiful kind of rusty orangey color when they come in, they have no crisping whatsoever. They have perfect shape, perfect everything. So we'll see how big they get and how happy it stays in here. I think it really likes it. Really likes it. I can just back up so you can see how big it is, guys. Okay. And back here, last but not least, is my Stingray Allocation, which was infested with, I think it was spider mites or some kind of mite when I bought it. I bought it knowing it probably had mites, guys, because I really wanted it. Home Depot had it just one time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I saw this. I really like the look of the leaves, which you can see why it's called a stingray. Because, I mean, look at that, right? It's got a little tail, little wings. Really cute. But yeah, I sprayed the life out of this plant. All summer, I battled bugs on it. I sprayed it with everything. I washed it. I ripped it apart. I chopped off the huge leaves it came with. I did all sorts of stuff to it. I'm like, you're going to survive, okay? You're not going to infest anybody, and you're not going to have bugs. So yeah, I washed this plant with soap. I sprayed it with neem oil. I sprayed it with Endol. I sprayed it with insecticidal soap. And I can honestly say I believe I succeeded because I have yet to spot a bug on it for quite a long time now. So, oh yeah, and I repotted it as well into my favorite allocation mix, which is basically very airy but holds a little moisture and drains very fast. But holds moisture. Figure that one out. So basically perlite potting mix, orchid bark, charcoal, and I think I did put a little bit of peat moss in there for the moisture and acidity. But yeah. So yeah, guys, so far I'm really happy with my terrarium setup. Like I said, it's not done. It's like a work in progress. It's like the cheap version of a terrarium, I guess. If you already had the tank, that is, obviously, right? But I thought it's a great use. I can put this enormous tank, you know, put it to, and the plants are thanking me. I think they're happy. So, like I said, I just put my Clarinervium into it this morning because I feel like it just need a little boost, for humidity. So we will see what happens. I'm always switching things around in here in terms of where the plants are located. And I'm always trying to figure out how to make it even better. So we'll see what I figure out sooner rather than later, I'm hoping. But there's no rush because right now this is working really nicely. So yeah, guys, feel free to make yourself a terrarium, especially if you have plants like my fry deck, which is just greedy for space, okay? Like greedy. Like seriously, this plant is enormous. When I bought it, I didn't think it got that big, but apparently if it's happy, it just keeps going and going and going and going and creates a huge stem, as I showed you before. In nature, I saw one on a documentary I was watching on YouTube, tropical plant documentary or show, whatever you call it, and oh my gosh, this thing develops a trunk over time, like a literal trunk. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with it when it gets that big, but hey, I guess that'll be a nice problem to have. So thanks for watching.